Philadelphia Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL season opener Thursday night, 24-20. Philly wins 3 in a row against the Cowboys for the first time since 03-04, and Jalen Hurts 5-0 in his career in season openers. Here's a guy who's 56-0 in his career in season openers. It's my friend Farhan Lalji from Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, joining us after the game. This game got off to such a weird start, Farhan, with Jalen Carter getting booted out of the game for spitting on Dak Prescott. How did that impact Philly's defense the rest of the way?
Yeah, I think it was a game changer in this one because you could see right away Jalen Carter out of the game, and this guy is an elite interior defender. He draws double teams regularly. He can split those double teams. He can make some things happen. And without him, they immediately started running the football. First play of the game, Williams ran the football. The first two series of the game, 9 carries, and they just wanted to control first down and get into second and manageable situations. And they also wanted to basically take some time of possession and try to shorten the game. And in the first half, it was pretty much even in terms of time of possession. And I think all of that had to do with Carter. They weren't trying to run the edges. They weren't trying to get too cute. They went right down the middle. There was that one 11-yard run that got him down to the 1-yard line. 2 touchdowns on 1-yard runs right up the middle. So I don't think they were concerned or intimidated by that vaunted defensive line once Carter left the game. So I think it was a real game changer from start to finish.
Let's talk about this. The reigning Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts, Farhan, 2 rushing touchdowns, 62 yards on the ground, picked up that huge first down to end the game. How would you assess his play overall?
I think it was inconsistent. Now, you know, there is one side of Jalen Hurts when he scrambles because he is a dynamic runner. He can make some things happen, and he can really put teams in a bit of a bind. And in the first half, you could see that Dallas gave a lot up on the edges. He was able to escape to the outside and make some things happen. He got the 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. But then you could also see a little bit in the second half how they were able to keep him in the pocket, and he wasn't as comfortable trying to run up the middle. You know, he does here for sure, but as the game progressed, it changed a little bit. And you know, the one thing you wonder about Jalen Hurts is how much of this was him escaping early, right? There were some times where he just looked like he wasn't necessarily able to find his receivers. I don't know how much of that was a case of them not getting separation. I think guys like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are very good and have the ability to get separation consistently. I think there were times when he bailed early. I think there were times where he just couldn't see the ball between the numbers, or see his receivers, I should say, between the numbers and in that 10 to 20-yard range down the field. So there's some good with it because he can be dynamic, but ultimately he has got to be able to operate from the pocket a little more consistently than he did in this game.
Dak Prescott was great in this one, like only 188 yards through the air, but man, Farhan, he made some incredible throws at the end of the game, and those throws were incompletions. Did Dak deserve a better result on Thursday night?
Yeah, potentially. You know, I thought early in this game he did a really good job of navigating the pocket, avoiding pressure, and not taking sacks. There were some big moments where he could have taken some big losses, and he managed to stay on his feet. And you know, you're talking about plays like this one, the play action pass down the right sideline, which set up a touchdown to C.D. Lamb. He looked really good. They also picked on Adoree Jackson from time to time, got some pass interference calls. He knew where those matchups were. So I like what Dak did. But in the fourth quarter, C.D. Lamb, who made some great plays for him early on in the game, also let him down a little bit. You know, there was a deep pass in the middle of the field that he dropped. That one down the right sideline. That was to Pickens. That was pass interference there. But there were some plays in the fourth quarter after that lightning and rain delay that he dropped, right? A chance to convert on third down, a couple of deep passes that really could have blown this game wide open. So I think Dak did his part, but I do think at times those around him let him down.
Saquon Barkley is your reigning Offensive Player of the Year, as we see the incompletion here once again from C.D. Lamb. Tough catch on the last one, but should have had that first one. Saquon held to just 60 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. As I mentioned, reigning Offensive Player of the Year. Farhan, I feel like we're picking on the Eagles a lot considering they won the game, but did you expect a little more from Saquon in the season opener?
Yeah, I think I did. Now, in the first half, I was really impressed by Saquon. I think there were times where he made a lot out of a little. And when you looked at his stat line at halftime, he was averaging close to 5 yards per carry. He gets out into space. He finds ways to make people miss. He churns forward for additional yardage. You saw him here where he avoided potentially a big tackle for loss. It's only a 4-yard gain, but it could have been a 5-yard loss. We see him here down near the goal line, 10 yards, was able to break a couple of tackles and make a few miss. So I think there was a lot of good, especially early in this game, but as this game progressed, I think you've got to give Dallas a lot of credit. They really zeroed in on him and were able to take him out of the game in the second half, especially after that delay. This game completely turned on its ear after the delay, because before that, the two teams combined for 44 points and 35 first downs. After that delay, really 20 minutes of game action, 0 points, just 7 first downs, and 5 punts. There weren't any punts prior to that. So I think that had a change in terms of how both teams were able to impact the run, and certainly Barkley slowed down. With the way he was going in the first half, I thought he was going to break the game open, especially with that offensive line. But you got to give Dallas some credit. Their defense really did stand tall in the second half.
So Philly gets the win over Dallas, but Philly loses Jalen Carter early in this game for spitting on Dak Prescott. And wouldn't you know it, Farhan, we have Jalen Carter reacting after the game. Let's take a listen.
Jalen, when it happened, did you realize that you were going to get tossed from the game?
I heard the ref talking, and then I heard him say, this is a tossable offense or something like that, and that's when I knew.
Did you have a conversation with Nick, and if so, what kind of message did he relay to you?
I didn't have a conversation yet. I know we're going to have that conversation. They have to focus on the game still. I don't want to distract them from the game. You know, I came in, I talked to the D-line, told them what I was seeing while I was watching the game inside. That's all.
What was it like watching the rest of the game?
It was intense for me. You know, I wanted to be out there with the guys so bad, and just to support and help, even just standing on the sideline. But you know, things went how it went. You know, we just got to move on. I made a promise to them boys; it won't happen again.
We'll do a couple.